PSC Archery presents Rival Wild. It's late October, and as another sunrise makes its way through the treetops, brothers Chris and Casey Keefer are making their way around their 5,000-acre Illinois lease.
Temperature dropping from 59 degrees this afternoon. Cloudy and continuing windy overnight with a low of 47. Cloudy with a few sunny breaks and not as warm tomorrow with a high of 53. With the winds from the northwest at 4 miles per hour, it's currently 55 degrees.
There we go. That's what I've been looking for right there. Hello. Big deer.
What are you looking at? What do you see?
There's a shooter out there.
It's a big deer.
Yeah, he's a big deer. Mass. Yeah, he's chasing a. There's three. There's him.
Phone's ringing.
There's him and 2 small bucks up there.
I saw Droopy.
Did you?
Yeah. The one with the big guy with the bent bean.
Yeah.
I saw him just about to cross into the timber, wolf timber.
From DNR?
From DNR. And the corn, coming out of the corn.
Yeah.
Like popping out of the corn looking like he was going to cross over into the beans.
Yeah.
So he just ran back in. I saw a doe over there running when I pulled up behind you, but I don't see anything now.
The doe just went, she followed the CRP edge all the way to the north. Up that way.
Yeah, I just pulled up behind you and saw you had the scope out. And I was wondering where you were.
It's a big deer.
Sweet.
Hellacious, man.
They're moving. I mean, that's more this morning than we've seen in a while.
As the morning sun gives way to afternoon clouds, the brothers each have a detailed agenda for the day. With thousands of acres of corn still standing, Chris plans to focus on the clover plots that have been strategically placed across the property. Two miles to the south, Casey has a slightly different mindset. Rather than targeting a food source, his plan is to hang a fringe stand. One that will allow him to overlook the CRP that he knows deer are traveling through frequently. While cloud cover continues to move in, Casey goes to work hanging this set. But back across the farm, Chris is wasting no time getting in the stand.
Right here's a buck. Right here on the ridge. It's a good buck, too. Oh, yeah. Kenny. It's Kenny right there. He just popped his head up over the CRP. Oh, he's gonna bed up right there. He's bed up. We got Kenny right here, bed up. Poor Ken, the Ken doll. The perfect 10 right there, look at him. This could be a long sit. Long sit. It looks like a nice buck.
Getting his name from his picture-perfect frame, Ken is a perfect 10 with estimated 9-inch G2s, 10-inch G3s, and 6-inch G4s. 3-inch brow tines on roughly a 90-inch frame put this buck in the upper 140s, leaving Chris with a tough decision this early in the season. The rest of the evening is spent watching this buck as Chris decides to let him walk. Knowing the potential of this farm and the quality of deer that it holds, he's confident that as the rut picks up, he'll have an opportunity at a bigger buck. So for tonight, Chris will sit tight and watch on.
guess I'll be all right with it. 2 sits, 2 deer on the hit list. That deer is a deer we call Ken. Like as in the Barbie doll Ken, he's a perfect 10. He looked great in the trail cam pics, but his frame was tight. And it just score-wise, he's not gonna be up there. He's gonna be in the high 140s, low 150s, which is a great deer by all means. There's nothing wrong with a deer like that. He's with the right age. But what a gorgeous deer. All the plans were to come in here and kill a doe. But I'd much rather have that right there. Awesome, awesome deer. The monsoon is over. It's time to start to hunt. It's a beautiful morning. We are sitting in Bangkok, aptly named because Jason Brown, field producer, editor, shot at an 8-point. And he missed him so far above his head, the deer took off and ran from here to Bangkok. Always have interesting names for these stands. I'm ready, trying all the tactics this morning. I gotta gauge where these deer are at. And the leaves are falling, the temperature's dropping. It's November 1st.
For Chris, his first encounter with this buck they named Blackbeard is bittersweet. Although he wasn't presented with a shot this morning, the response to the rattling and grunting is encouraging. As the first morning of November comes to a close, the colder weather and increased deer activity leaves the brothers hopeful for what's to come. While Chris continues to wait it out, Casey is across the farm, devising a plan for his next stand placement. It's the afternoon of November 1st, and with the forecast projecting temperatures in the low 30s this evening, brothers Chris and Casey Keefer are both optimistic about this afternoon's sit. Casey's plan for this evening is to head to the stand he recently dubbed the CRP Road. Hundreds of reconyx pictures have shown deer using a few specific trails as they make their way back and forth between the standing corn to the north and the CRP that this stand overlooks.
November 1st. I just rattled in one of next year's prospects. Nice 9. I got pictures of him. He's getting pushed around one night down by the double wide by a buck, one we call Holyfield. He was getting pushed around in there by him one night. He came from a long ways looking for us, and when I realized he wasn't a shooter, I'm not gonna mess around with a buck like that. I'm not gonna try and suck him right underneath me when I know I'm not gonna shoot him. Just put myself at risk of blowing up this stand, so. Sitting the old 28 tonight. This is one of my favorite stands ever, of all time, period. I rattled 28 bucks in to this stand 2 years ago. I don't think there's a better area on this section of ground than this top field. It's better when it's corn, but it's still good when it's beans. I'll take it. Transition time right now. Deer are just moving.
With a strip of timber to the north, surrounded by hundreds of acres of beans, Chris knows where the deer will be headed this evening to feed. If all goes as planned, the deer will work their way south into the timber he's sitting along.
Holyfield. There's a deer with a missing chunk out of his right ear. He's a good buck, Big 10. He's traveling this area. Got him on 3 different cameras. But Holyfield was under my stand this morning at 9:24 a.m. I'm about to go 10 rounds with Holyfield if he comes in here, I promise you that.
Old 28 is a stand Chris has history with, a history that he hopes can be repeated tonight. With sunset approaching, the deer are on their feet. While Chris remains hopeful as he continues to watch deer work their way into the field, a mile and a half to the south, Casey is having similar luck. While the golden hour casts light on a beautiful landscape for the brothers to look over, the buck activity is minimal. It's now November 2nd, and as the morning rain gave way to partly cloudy afternoon skies, Casey is 25 feet up in a stand he calls the double wide.
Back in the old double wide. Still waiting on him to cut this field. I've got a southeast wind, which is a pretty good wind for in here. It's not the perfect wind, but it should be pretty good. The deer should be traveling, I'm hoping, this direction, which is south to north, and then also coming along this edge from the east. Got this little food plot of corn that we have that meets up with a really big field over there. All the CRP behind me, that's all bedding area. And the bucks just cruise this creek bottom. That clock's a ticking. These cool days, as this photo period starts to diminish, it's gonna get rowdy. I'm ready for it to get rowdy. It's about time. This double wide stand is just a killer set though, man. I love it.
Just as Casey hoped, his light rattling caught the attention of a buck that both brothers have come to know. Now, just 150 yards of Illinois ground lie between Casey and the 4.5-year-old the brothers call Holyfield.